Hi, welcome to this video day, which is on the 23rd of December. It's Sunday. Just going to give my view of the year that just went by in terms of trading, and also look forward to the new year. Now, the new year, I personally feel, could be one of the most exciting in a long time, the way the financial markets are shaping up. Now, in terms of our year, how did we do trading? A lot of people have asked us recently. Certainly wasn't our best year. It wasn't our worst either. I think, yeah, in terms of the price action this year, it was challenging for most traders. We had some decent losers, let's say, and some winners that came from unexpected pairs. So I just want to go through them. Also, the strategy that worked well for us this year, and I think it's going to work really well in the new year. Now, in terms of my year, basically it was a bit kind of stop-start. I had a couple of big drawdowns that to recover from. But also some decent winners as well. Someone sent me this clip and said, I bet this sums up your year. I'm just going to show it to you. It's only about 20 seconds long. It's Jurgen Klopp, the Liverpool football manager. And I think I can relate to his reference to Crystal Palace. So here it is. I'll be back in 20 seconds to discuss in more
Sometimes
detail.
I would really like to change my personality, but I can't forget this fucking lose against Crystal Palace. If we had won this, I would say it was more than okay.
I will come back after that, a short clip there of Jurgen Klopp telling it as it is. Now, in terms of talking about losing trades, we'll just do that first of all, and some lessons for beginners. And I'll talk about more pleasant winners, and also the strategy worked really well for us this year, and I think it will really work well in the next year. Now, in terms of our Crystal Palace, undoubtedly crude oil. Trading it short when it was in a bullish frenzy to the upside, I tried 3 times with a reasonable bet size to catch the turn. Failed miserably, got stopped out 3 times, got 10% drawdown from my trouble, which is relatively big drawdown for us. Now, in terms of that trade, it's a standout loser for us. You tend to have one each year, I think, or I do. Someone did say to me recently, oh, your trading in crude oil is really good. Well, of course it wasn't good because we had 3 losers, but he was just looking at our analysis. And after I took the 3 losers and decided to move on to other opportunities, we still have to analyze crude oil, okay? Obviously, we analyzed numerous pairs or Forex pairs and crude oil here and so forth. And my analysis on the next trade was perfect. It got massive move to the downside, but I didn't bother trading it. Now, in terms of what I would say, for any beginners, analysis is easy, okay? And that's not your real problem in terms of Forex trading at all. The real problem comes in deciding what pairs or contracts to bet on, how much to bet, and then managing that trade under uncertainty. Now, in terms of our analysis, we always give our entry, stop and target as we see it, okay? For decent risk reward trades, and some obviously we will be trading and others will pass by, just simply because we cover so many pairs and different opportunities in the market. So crude oil, definitely the biggest loser of the year. But if you've got a strategy with an edge, and this is again, for beginners, you don't worry about the loss. You don't really want to take losses like that, but you're running a strategy with an edge, you will get that loss back, or you're confident that you will. And we did get the loss back and a little bit more. Now, in terms of other losing trades, we had plenty this year. We lose about half our trades anyway. Just give you the standout one there. Winners. Winners came in the more minor pairs. Biggest winner of all, USD try. Perfect storm hit the Turkish lira. The dollar soared higher on it. I think the dollar went up overall about 45%. We didn't get all of that at all. We got 25%. That's a massive move. Biggest winner by far. And we banked it out early. Again, I'd say this to beginners. Once you've got enough, protect or take, okay? don't give the profit back. And there's plenty of other minor pairs that gave us really good profits and did really well in the major crosses, in the major currencies. I think last year was kind of a dull year. There were some decent trades, but overall the majors lacked volatility, a lot of whipsaw action, and it wasn't the best year for trading the majors. Yeah, there were good trades, but just say to anyone new to the markets, just watch the more minor pairs and crosses as well, because for us, the year gone by, that's where we made the majority of our profits. And I've said it before, there's an obsession with Euro USD. We traded that only a couple of times this year in a big way. Okay, the rest of the time we either ignored it or just had a small position in. Euro USD really lacked volatility and a trending nature in our view. It did have some decent moves, but overall was not the best pair to trade. Now, in terms of strategies, strategies that worked for us, or the strategy that worked best for us, was hitting turning points and looking for big trends to develop. Okay, I was trying to do that in crude oil, of course, didn't quite work out for me, but it worked out in a good few pairs. And in terms of yesterday, the video on the JPY, and been very focused on the JPY recently, trying to hit big turning points and going for 500 pips or more. And we've got a good few trades right in the Japanese yen, okay? Heavily focused on it at the moment. In the year coming up, I think it's going to be the currency really to focus on. And I think in the year coming up, it's going to be the safe currencies v the risk currencies, which I'll come to in a moment. Now, in terms of analysing the markets, a lot of technicians said they had a lot of problems last year. It wasn't a good year for purely technical traders that I know. I think, said it before, put sentiment in your trading. It's generally what we're doing with the yen, for example. Look at the sentiment of traders and then use your technicals to time the market, because then you know the kind of buying and selling power behind the chart and can hunt down potential big moves. Now, in terms of the markets this year, like I said, I didn't think they were particularly great. I think just a lack of volatility generally and a lot of whipsaw action. Okay, but we're traders, we have to cope with that. The new year, though, I think is going to be much more exciting and much more user friendly. Now, I'm going to do fuller videos on the best opportunities as I see them, but I just want to go through some background to the financial markets generally, and then you'll see why I think next year could be a fantastic one for Forex traders. And just before I do this, before I forget, a lot of traders pack up at this time of year. They want to finish until the end of the first week of January. I personally think that's a mistake, because if you look at it statistically, it's in the period the end of December to the first week of January you normally get big moves in many Forex pairs, and they set their high or low for the following year in the period. So it's a great time to be alert for opportunities. Right, let's go to a storyboard and just summarize some points in terms of what I think could happen in the markets next year. Right, just a quick summary of how I see the year ahead. And in terms of this summary, it's only very brief. I'll cover many of the points in more detail and obviously the best opportunities as I do videos going forward. But in terms of point number one, 2018, there was a lack of volatility in many pairs. You'd have choppy and whipsaw price action. I think the markets are kind of stalling. They're waiting for something big to happen. And the markets are undergoing a change. This is financial markets generally, with the withdrawal of cheap money, stimulus and rates going up in many countries around the world. The cheap money has gone, okay? Now, what was the result of all that cheap money from 2008 when it first started, really? Basically, all we've got now is a lack of inflation and growth in global economies, or the global economy. I think growth rates are near enough the lowest since the Second World War. No inflation around, or very low inflation, and that's a danger because inflation actually is needed for innovation, for growth. I won't go into why in this video, but when you have low inflation or lack of inflation, it's like stopping the time clock, and that's exactly what's happened. So we're basically in an environment globally where debt levels are just massive and there's no growth. Okay. Now, if we look at the major economies, I want to take China first of all. China is in terrible trouble. It's literally on the verge of a hard landing now. Growth has dried up, debt levels are huge, obviously having a fight with the US over trade. China could be the time bomb in 2019. If China hard lands, expect financial turmoil in global markets. Now, in terms of Eurozone, it's not doing particularly well. They've just withdrawn stimulus and the economy is a mess. No real growth around, no real inflation, unemployment high, political problems across the zone. I think I said it in my yen video yesterday. It's just not a happy family. So Eurozone, a bit of a problem as well. I haven't mentioned Japan, but Japan not really growing that strongly either. Japan, though, is a big safe haven. They've got huge holdings overseas, and they'll be coming home, in my view. Yen, the currency to focus on going forward. In terms of cheap money and big growth rates, we had that in the emerging market economies. Okay, and the only reason they grew so quickly was cheap money. That's gone, and the emerging markets now are in big trouble. They're very, very vulnerable to big sell-offs. Okay, in terms of the USA, the economic cycle there looks to have peaked. Okay. In terms of the USA, I just described it, I think earlier in the year, as the best house in a bad neighborhood, which it is. But the US dollar is not going to collapse going forward. A lot of traders or analysts say this. It just will not collapse. There's an obvious reason why. It's the global reserve currency. And obviously from 2008, we've got lots of dollars being lent out, even by foreign banks. Those dollars now are not being lent out. Loans are going back to the book. Fed is reducing its balance sheet. The US dollar will gain on safe haven flows of the yen, in my view. I would focus on safe currencies v risk and keep in mind the big money flows that are going to occur. The safe currencies are generally oversold anyway. Okay, other safe havens would be obviously the Swiss franc, Singapore dollar. Our focus at the moment is on the yen, but I'm not looking too far forward in this video of what we're going to do. But we've got our eye on the USD for trades as well, and also those two minor safe havens, and also currencies that are deeply oversold. Let's say, for example, like the British pound against the commodity currencies. The currencies that are really vulnerable going forward are the commodity currencies and the emerging markets. They all suffer the most in terms of the financial uncertainty we've got around at the moment. And I think there'll be really big opportunities for trend following big moves in the new year. We've already started doing it with the yen, which posted a good few videos on. And we've had some decent movement. Okay, it's not as quick as we'd want, but some decent 500 pip plus moves. Now, in the new year, I think you could see safe havens move by thousands of pips in very short periods of time against a background of uncertainty and stock market weakness. Now, will stocks crash? There's a strong possibility they might, but even if they don't, I don't see big upside. I think it will be a year of caution going forward. Financial uncertainty, record debt levels in the global economy, and the global economy is not doing that well. There's lots of banks in trouble, countries in trouble. For us as Forex traders, that is an opportunity. I think going safe v risk, like I said, and focusing on the longer term is a great strategy or longer term moves. Obviously, we'll swing trade as well, but we're very focused on the big picture. Yeah, I've obviously mentioned the yen, which is my favourite currency, but there's going to be plenty of opportunities going forward. This year will not be as quiet as last year. I think the volatility as we move into the new year will be much higher than it has been this year. I think it could be a really great year for Forex traders. We shall see. That's the video for today. Like I said, 2018 could have been a lot better than it was. Like I said, it's a challenging year. But yeah, that's what you get. Yeah, Forex trading isn't easy. We know it's simple. But yeah, just looking at the backdrop going forward, I'm quite excited about the new year. So we shall see what happens. I'll do fuller videos on these points. If you want, obviously, if you're not a member of ours, you can join our member centre and watch our analysis, research, trades, and all our trading techniques as well. All right, that is the video for today. Thanks very much for watching me as usual. Take care. Have a good day.